Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. My name's Ryan Rastow, I'm the PGA professional here at Howley Hall and also equipment expert for Golfshake.com. Today, as you can see, we've got two brand new drivers from Srixon. We've got the ZX5 and the ZX7, the Mark II versions of both of these drivers. We're gonna hit a few shots here inside on the Trackman, get a few numbers, talk to you a little bit about what I kind of feel and see when I'm hitting these drivers, but also we're going to talk a little bit about the tech. Both of these drivers feature very similar technologies, and it's a technology that Srixon have kind of refined over the last couple of drivers, and rebound frame is the big one. So what is rebound frame? Well, there's a little graphic on there now to show you. Basically, it's a dual flex zone in the head, meaning that when we hit golf shots with these drivers, we don't lose energy when we're hitting them, particularly away from the middle of the face, which, let's face it, some of us are going to do. Some drivers that compress a lot, basically some of that energy that we create during the swing and in the strike is lost in that deformation in the head. And trying to get a technology that helps us to obviously maximize the ball speed possible on not only centered strikes but off center ones is something that manufacturers all the time are trying to refine. There's obviously legal limits with all these driver heads that we've got to kind of be within. So, you know, drivers aren't going to get stupidly quicker overnight because they're not allowed to, but what they can get is more efficient, and hopefully this rebound frame technology is going to do that. We've also got adjustability in the loft and lie, so we can change those around to make these drivers fit us slightly better. You'll notice there's slightly different weighting. So in the 5, we've got the 8 gram weight at the back there. And in the ZX7 Mark II, we've got an 8 gram weight in the heel and a 4 gram in the toe, which are obviously adjustable. So we can move those around in the driver to even further dial this in. Now the ZX7 will be slightly lower spin, or it's certainly designed to do that. Slightly sleeker kind of look from the top there. ZX5, slightly bigger footprint, a little bit more confidence inspiring there, and probably a little bit more forgiving. But we're going to put them through their paces now here in the Performance Centre. We're going to show you the Trackman numbers at the end, talk through them a little bit, but also I'm going to give you some feedback as I'm hitting them. So we're going to start our test with the ZX5 Mark II driver. So this should be slightly more forgiving, slightly higher launch and spin. We've got the weight towards the back there, and I've got a 9.5 degree head here set down at 8.5, which is what I would generally use in the driver that I game week in, week out. So let's have a bit of a hit of it and put this rebound frame to the test. We've also got some added stability in the shape of the star frame crown that both of these drivers have. Again, trying to keep that head more stable and certainly return some of the energy back to the golf ball on those off-center hits. So let's have a bit of a look. In terms of the looks behind the ball though, we've got that nice matte finish on the top there. Looks really, really good, quite confidence inspiring. It's a lovely shape, nice rounded shape to it. You can just see the graphics there on the heel and the toe. And yeah, that kind of matte look to the top of it, which I know some of you absolutely love. So let's give it a bit of a hit and see. Just want to mention we've got hazardous shaft in here, 6.5, 70 grams. So it's a low spinning shaft, and certainly one I've tried quite a lot in drivers I've hit in the past. So let's give it a bit of a hit and see. Feels really good off the face. It's certainly louder than some of the carbony kind of drivers that we've been doing lots of testing with in the last few months. Certainly back to that kind of more metallic sound, but in terms of the feel off the face, very, very good. Better one. So we're now moving on to the ZX7 Mark II driver. So a little bit different in terms of the looks at address. We should see a little bit lower spin and lower launch, and who knows, maybe a little bit more distance. So let's give it a hit. In terms of its actual looks, it doesn't look too dissimilar to the ZX5 Mark II that we've just hit. It's just a little bit smaller profile when it sits there behind the ball. So just a little bit more kind of traditional shape, I suppose, but let's give it a hit. I've got exactly the same shaft, same setting, same loft, everything. Again, good sort of contact. This sounds a little bit duller off the head than the ZX5 did. Be interesting to see the difference in the flight, because this feels, or that first one certainly felt like it came out much lower. So let's hit a few more. now that we've hit shots with both of the new Mark II models of the ZX5 and ZX7, we can see some slight differences in performance. So for me, the ZX7 just felt a bit easier to swing. I don't know whether it's because the head's a bit more compact or what, but we can see that the numbers are very, very close, to be honest. So in terms of the carry, 276 with the ZX7, 277 with ZX5. So there's really nothing to split them. 293 total with ZX7 and 291 or 292-ish with ZX5. So they're very, very close in terms of the performance that we can see here. In terms of the spin, both on the high side really, and that's what I struggled with quite a lot with these, is getting the spin down. I think that's what's killed the distance a little bit. I would expect these to be over the 300-yard mark really. Club speed wise, a little bit down on what I'd normally be. Around 117 is kind of what I would say is my normal swing speed. So 115 and 114 respectively with these two. But we can see ball speed wise, the ZX5 comes off ever so slightly quicker, even though we're swinging it slightly slower. So in terms of efficiency, that one's working a bit better, but it's doing what it's designed to do. It's spinning a little bit more. It's launching a little bit higher as well. So in terms of the performance of the drivers, they're doing what they're supposed to do. For me, they're just a bit on the spinny side. So I don't know whether I need to do a bit of work with different shafts with them, but certainly from the testing I've done, that it's kind of what I'd expect to see from these two heads. I probably enjoyed hitting the ZX7 more because it was more that traditional kind of look and shape to me, but the ZX5 was more forgiving, and the numbers, I think if I was going to choose one to play with, it'd probably be ZX5 because it's kind of let me get away with some of those poorer strikes. And if we look at dispersion, it's slightly better on that as well, slightly tighter in the shots that we've hit. So both very, very good and very different to some of the drivers that we've done testing with this year, because they don't sound as carbony, if you like, as some. They're a bit more metallic and a bit more traditional sounding, I would say, in a driver, which some of you will absolutely love. The quality is always there with anything from Srixon, so they're definitely worth trying. If you're looking for a driver this year, one of the ZX models could be the one for you. But as we always say, go and get properly fitted. Try some different shafts. The ones I've tried today, hazardous, they're good, very, very good. They're maybe not the right shaft for me quite, but pretty close. You know what I mean? They're enough for us to see a really good comparison between these two models. But yeah, definitely go and get properly custom fitted at either a Srixon demo day or go and see a PGA Pro that knows what they're talking about when fitting Srixon products. So hopefully you've enjoyed that review. I've loved hitting these drivers, as I do everything from Srixon. We've got loads more coming from them. We've got some of the new irons, a new utility kind of hybrid driving iron to use, as well as fairway woods and hybrids too. So keep your eyes peeled for those videos hitting the channel, and we'll see you all very, very soon.